from here. Back in my back in my fucking zone. Zone. Back in my fucking zone.
Surprise, time for some noise and caffeine. I'm gonna show this out and also remember what. But I wrote the last song before this was Almost Human from my album Photonic, and then this one's called Marathon. It's from my album Hot Glitch. For those in the chat, just getting set up. Oh, can opening sound effects for funsies. Let's see. Oh, where's my brain like blanking out? This is Ace Fleetwood from my album Phenomenon Onomatopoeia. That's I actually got a decent amount of work done today. I've been running into a bunch of like technical obstacles lately on different work tasks, projects, and I think I've gotten a handle on most of them now, so I was able to actually do a little bit of work today and not have too much impedance from third parties. That was nice. Actually, that's a nice segue into my prompts for the Loud Cafe. I like to think of it as loud in a few ways, the Loud Cafe. But my 3 prompts are sort of designed to make me slightly louder than I might be just chilling in the morning. But yeah. The first prompt is one thing that annoys me. I'm actually a loud complainer, but I don't like to use that during stream because I actually fucking hate fighting, even like verbal altercations. So this is my fun time. I usually try to avoid it, but so I am pretty loud about things that annoy me though, just to bring out a little bit of the loudness, but moderation. And then my second prompt that I do to get myself talking loud. One thing that I like, that I can loudly talk about stuff I like, which is also a thing, you know, like I'm autistic, so if I info dump, which sometimes happens with the thing I like prompt, then right, at least in some sense I'm being loud, whether it's just oversharing duration of the volume loud, or whether it's like magnitude of volume as I'm talking about it if I'm getting excited, right? Loud cafe. I'm gonna over-explain shit, so that's what I do. And then my third prompt is a sound production thing, music production idea. super vague, just talk about music, sound production, sound design, whatever. Because in that way, maybe direct some of my babbling, you know, as I'm working once I get going. But I give myself an excuse with the Loud Cafe to just like run some music and socialize or ramble or do whatever. It's good to talk, but talking's kind of tiring for me. The spoken language thing can be really draining for me, sort of mentally. And that goes up dramatically, you know, as more people are involved in communication, especially if it's like spoken, like verbal out loud communication. And I can have a really hard time going back and forth between processing and speaking, and then language interference depending on what language I'm trying to communicate. Silvio, what's up? It's good to see you, homie. How are you doing? I always like if you well, you said it's fine, but sometimes I feel bad calling you El. If you have something else you want to call you, let me know. It's just like in my brain what comes out now, but I can adjust that if needs be. The shit, what was I saying? Oh, about the talking. See, I'm not even to things that annoy me yet. I'll have something. I'll start talking about something. Oh shit, get in my way. That's what I was gonna have. That annoys me. Third party interference. Third party impedance. But what the thing about language for me is, oh yeah, and then there's like the different languages issue depending. So like, you know, I have whatever language I'm trying to speak in if I'm trying to speak, plus like whatever language certain thoughts first come in. And it's kind of at this point in my life, it's contextual. Like there's things that I naturally think about more in Spanish, and then there's things that I naturally speak about more in English. Or like certain situations or contests I'll be in, you know, where I think of different things. So it can be like a lot for my brain to navigate, just because like that's a challenge of mine. And so if I get myself talking some during like stuff like this where it's structured, my live stream's structured within, you know, to a certain degree. I have a certain like control over it, so it like helps, and I get to like continue speaking and practicing speaking and communicating ideas in more ways than just writing and music. I mean, not that I don't talk to people in real life, but it can be exhausting, so I'll avoid it sometimes, a lot of times. I'm not a real social person to person, like in face to face. I like hanging out with people, but I'm not always good about like participating sort of verbally in the social ways people like. But it keeps me, you know, working multiple parts of my brain and figuring out how to. So I still have to engage with people on their level to some degree too, right? Like we all have different purposes. Some people don't like just sitting in silence and parallel playing with me. So I gotta find ways to meet those people in the middle, right? If I kind of communicate with them or hang out with them. Anyway, I'm like really getting tangential right now. This is Rain Achiever. Oh, I said that already too. This is Rain Achiever from Last Chain. Last Chain's the name of that album of mine. This is from. Oh yeah, so I was just thinking because I had a prompt. I was already like talking about stuff. Something that annoys me. Third party impedance is what I just decided to call it right now. But you know, like when other people that aren't necessarily involved in what you're doing, like they don't have to be, they're like a middleman or whatever, some other sort of connection point in the process, whether it's like physically, like literally a person, or like, you know, a service or product that a person, you know, built or promised or sold or whatever, or like required by law or whatever the fuck. Like, actually the legal ones are the ones that annoy me the most. So I got a really good story about this. Years ago, I was driving and some lady just fucking sideswiped me, changing lanes, just drove into me. And it was like super clear cut, like case. And then it ended up not even doing much damage to my car. Like, I was driving a 73 Chevy Nova and she hit the bumper and front fender. And so like the front fender, I was going to need to do whatever work I was going to need to do to it anyway. And the bumper's up like fucking solid steel. Like, it probably bent it, but it wasn't even noticeable, like visually. Actually, no, I think I did check and it was like pinched at one point, but like seriously, until like, unless like it almost didn't matter, at least at that point, right? So like the insurance company, if you're not familiar, well, in insurance I think varies even from state to state in the US, but auto insurance in the US is, well, most insurance is a racket. But so it's just like a weird fucked up thing the way a lot of them work. And so here, here in California, where I was living at the time that it happened, what the insurance company did is they go, well, it's a 1973 model year vehicle, like it's not worth anything, it's too depreciated, because they calculate it only based on time, not that I'm driving like a fucking Claudia. How's it going? I'm gonna call you Claudia. Claudia, it's your Claudia. But thanks. Hey, good to see you. But they just measure it on how old it is. Not that it's like fucking classic vehicle that would cost me thousands to restore, right? Like they, you know, to repair damage or whatever. So they're like, we'll give you, I don't know, $500 or something. I don't remember what it was. It was like, and it was like one of those things where like what they're giving me is not worth it, and I can't fix anything yet with the money they give me. So to save it or do something with it, and then it was just like a minimal amount. Well, there's a law in California, or was, I don't know, I'm assuming it's still a law, I don't know, but where any collisions that you're in, if the damage is over, like, I don't know what it is, say $5,000 or something, then you're required by law to report the accident. And like everyone has to. Like, it's not just it's required by law to be reported. Like, if you're involved in it, you have to report it. So like two cars collide, both parties have to report it, right? So well, I got hit and the insurance just said, we'll give you 500 or whatever it was. And I was like, well, can't do anything with this shit. I was just on my merry fucking way, right? I was like annoyed that I got hit, but whatever. And didn't think a whole lot of it. Well, like a few months later, I got a notice in the mail. And it's so fucking funny because they're like, your driver's license has been suspended. It will be suspended effective, and I like look at it and it's like in 2 weeks or a week or something, or 10 days. They give you like no notice. And then they're like, you had this many months to respond. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? What is my license even suspended for? And like I read through it and it's for this accident. And I'm like, yeah, I already reported that accident. I got paid out. Like, it's done. Like, it's over. And they're like, if the damage is over X amount of dollars, I was like, yo, I still have like paperwork from depositing this check. Like, I can show it wasn't $5,000 or whatever they put on there, right? And so I'm like, dude, this is fucking bizarre. So I just fill out the report and I send it in and I'm like, whatever, like I have to send that or they're gonna suspend my license. And so I just expect like, you know, it takes like 2-3 days for the paperwork to go through to get to them. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll just get another notice saying, never mind, you're fine. So like the day of, when that time limit they gave me, when it expired, I get another notice in the mail saying like, your license is no good, you can't drive anymore, you're breaking the law if you drive. What the fuck? So I was like, well, like I can't get arrested, like, and I drive for a living. At the time I drove for a living. So like I couldn't like not go to work. Like what the fuck am I gonna do, right? So I was like, what the fuck? So I call up the DMV on the phone, and I was like, what is the deal with this? Like explain to him, like, listen, it was only this much money. And the guy's like, yeah, but the other vehicle, this is when they finally explained this shit to me. So the guy I'm talking to is like, yeah, but the other vehicle, the damage was like over 5,000, plus they had medical expenses plus some other shit. And I was like, how the fuck am I supposed to know that? They're like, they didn't report it to your insurance. I was like, why would they? She was at fault. They're like, oh, yeah, I guess they wouldn't. I don't know. And so he's like, okay, well, we could just clear that up. And I was like, yeah, but I don't have a license, dude. Like, we can clear that. Don't worry about it. We can have it cleared up today. It's no big deal. Like, it'll all be settled. And I was like, but I don't understand. Like, I sent in the paperwork. Like, what's like, I already thought it was settled. Now you're telling me, but like, is it settled? Will I have a license? Or are you just going to say that and then I'll find out in a week, or I'll get arrested driving and not even realize like what's going to happen, you know? And so, he's like, no. He's like, you mailed that in or you called us? And I was like, I mailed it in because you sent me mail. He's like, that office is 6 months behind on paperwork right now. And I was like, well, then how did they terminate? Like, how did they suspend my license? He's like, oh, that's a different office. They're on time. So these motherfuckers have different offices going. And the office that's required to like report that you reported this thing is 6 months behind the office that's suspending licenses. But the office of suspending licenses is only giving you like 2 weeks to clear it up. I was just like, this sounds like a you problem. That's like, and it's the law. Like, there's no way around it. I can't just go, no, fuck you, I'm gonna take my business elsewhere. There's no other DMV, you know? It's a fucking government. It's just like, and that's how they fucking ran that shit. But anyway, so I get annoyed when with third-party impedance. Obstacles put in my way to completing shit I need to do that shouldn't be there in the first place and don't involve me. I just think about it, there's a lot of work stuff right now I'm doing, and there's a third-party service vendor that's just fucking being a shit. So bad. But I've spent most of my life having to learn, like, because I worked corporate and government for a long time, and so I've got a lot of experience having to find solutions by going around incompetent dipshits in control. And so I think I've found some of those ways to go around some of these incompetent dipshits right now. That's huzzah! That's actually a plus to the thing that annoys me, is I'm further along that line right now. Fuck, I already forgot one thing that I liked that I was going to talk about. I was going to talk about something I liked. I like not being cold, but it's still kind of chilly right now. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna, hold on, adjust my stream rate, because speaking of third parties, YouTube likes to add additional processing delay that Twitch did not add. And so they need more bits so they can eat up my fucking bits and still have bits left over that I have a halfway coherent stream. So I'm gonna adjust this slightly. The problem is, before I was trying to deal with some bandwidth stuff, and now, where are you? No, it just claims it's, oh wait, no, they're in here, that's right. I forget where they put them on this. Why? there's some stream settings somewhere. I don't remember. I thought it was just in. Wait, maybe it's an output? No. Recording. Streaming, right? Oh no, there it is. I was looking right at it. I just wasn't registering it. They say they want like 36 or something. Well, fuck it. Let's just try it like that and see if it doesn't totally kill my connection. So what used to happen? Oh, we're just gonna start that over. That's kind of fun. Let's see if make sure it still works. Okay, it claims I'm still broadcasting. Sorry, OBS was being kind of funky. I'm narrating this a little bit because you can't see my OBS interface the way I have things set up right now, but okay. And my rate's better too, but it's not like, so what would happen is if my rate was too high, it would overflow, or it wouldn't overflow, but it would basically, it would run into bandwidth issues on my side. It would try to pull too much data too fast. And so then my data would get throttled on this side. And part of it was also some fucking infrastructure issues where I live. Maybe they got those fixed too. Maybe that'll help. Well, fuck it. Let's see how it goes. Because YouTube seems to think I'm doing okay now too. This is maple chocolate brownie fudge from my album Surrender. I do like brownies. I like them fudgy. I'm talking about brownies is my thing I liked before though. Just the song title reminded me. Wet. Okay. I don't know. You know what? I like our chickens. They're funny as fuck. We'll talk about chickens for a little bit. That's the thing I like. The babies are a pain in the ass, but I knew they would be. We got an Americana, and babies are curious. Generally, baby chickens in general, anyway. I guess I've heard some of them are a little bit more precocious, but I haven't experienced this myself yet. But one of them's an Americana, and my experience with Americanas has been that they're really inquisitive and love like climbing and covering way more ground than I want them to cover. They can be a pain in the ass to wrangle and keep on the property if you are close to other people. So they're a pain in that way. They can be hard to wrangle. My babies anyway, was one of them. But then we have these 3 older hens, adult hens right now, and we got a New Hampshire red who's like super fucking chill. Like all the reds we've had have been chill. There's been one that's been like just mildly aggressive, which is like assertive is a better way. We had one that's assertive. This one can be assertive when she wants to be also. But she's not much of a... She's like a lone leader type of personality, right? She's like, I'm in charge, but I don't want to be in charge of anyone else. I'm only in charge of me. And then we have this fucking... We have this Delaware that I call our bimbo, because all she wants to do is just take dirt baths and eat while laying down. All day. That's it. Just hang out wherever and just fucking take a dirt bath and eat whatever's around the dirt bath while she's dirt bathing. Dirt bath. Fun. And then like we have another Delaware who's like wants to be in charge. It's kind of aggressive, but she's manageable. She's just like she's just really selfish and possessive. Everything's hers, so she could be really aggressive about that. But she's so fucking funny. So she has like a favorite side of the like chicken run, and she has to be the first one there, and no one can fuck with any of her shit over there. So if like as soon as any of the other chickens get over there, like if she decides that they're like eating or digging somewhere she wants to be, then she's like, fuck you, get out of here. And but so it's so funny because she like One, chickens are fucking fast, yo. It's the funniest thing watching a chicken run to me. I don't know why, but like they just look hella fucking funny. But this motherfucker will just dart like all the way across the yard, try to go first. But she's so fucking vocal about it, so she makes like the funniest sound. She's just like the whole way. I gotta record it sometime. It's so much better than that. Just fucking going shitty. Yeah, actually, I really like shit like this, but I don't always put it a bunch of them up on a single album. But yeah, this is Montaña Mota. This has been the last one. This is from Phenomenon Onomatopoeia. But yeah, I like, or was the breakcore thing about maple chocolate brownie fudge? No, I guess that one makes more sense, huh? Fuck, no, I don't know. I'm doubting myself. Yeah, so I like our chickens. They're cool. Plus, I like not having to worry about like egg prices doing weird things in the U.S. because the U.S. is the U.S. and shit happens. But oh, and then my third thing is a third prompt is some kind of sound idea. So I wanted to talk a little bit about subtracted EQ today and kind of like how and why I deal with it. So I'm gonna find a noisy ass project to work with to make this work. Hey, this isn't as noisy as normal. No, this will probably be pretty fucking noisy. Check this out. Let's see. Yeah, maybe that thing. We'll play here, I think, to start. See if I can get some sounds that are halfway noticeable out of it. I have no idea how this is going to go. I'm just going to talk about what I want to talk about. I don't know if these examples are going to be any good. I didn't prepare a lesson, as it were. But as I mentioned, the song that's playing right now is Montaña Mota. It's from my album Phenomenon Onomatopoeia. Man, how we all doing? Hope everyone's doing well. Trying to think of anything else interesting happened lately. Oh, I've been sharing some stories. My kid goes through phases, and most of it's just because, like, with this particular theme, which I'll explain more, but part of sort of to preface this, my body's a lot more frail. I don't like the word frail. It sounds bad. More doom and gloom than I mean it, but it's not as healthy as it once was. I'm working on that, but I'm in like kind of recovery right now, physically. And so my youngest is a very like surprise attack, pranky type of personality. And so my youngest sometimes has a hard time of like I don't even know what a rage album for me would sound like. I mean, it would certainly be fucking noisy. And I would definitely have to have some like spooky shit in there too. But so the youngest sometimes has a hard time kind of feeling out like where the line is, so that's appropriately exciting and funny and unexpected, like prank type of deal. No, it's not. Or like the other thing my kid's been into has been my kid's always been in this. The youngest has always been into scary movies and scary TV shows, but mostly hasn't had like the courage to watch much, and so it's slowly like working up to like kind of scarier horror, I guess, as it were. Like to the point where at first neither of my kids could handle in Spider-Man, the first one that was animated, Across the Universe, Across the Multiverse. No, that's the second one, right? Spider-Man fuck, but the first one with Miles, and like every time the music would start for my brain keeps wanting to say Nightcrawler, and that's not right. The fuck's the name of that fool? The Uncle Aaron. But like, as when the first time he comes on as his alter ego, the villain, the music hits, and like my kids first, like they couldn't even handle that. They're like, it's too scary. Like just the music. But like, so my kids have been like growing in this area. But so like, anyway, the scary part's not really what I was gonna talk about, but I was gonna say like that, share that sort of the pranky side of this kid. God, there's so many stories. But this more recent one that was kind of funny was I was playing Minecraft, just killing time, and then I left my Minecraft logged in and went to go like start dinner or something. I don't remember what it was, but I had to go do something. It left my character logged in. So my kid opened up chat and wrote, I love to eat popo, and then walked me into a lava pool. And then just left. So I came back when I was like, well, something happened. And I looked at chat and I was like, pieced it together. Oh shit, that's not what I meant to do. Oh well, that's an easy fix. Just open that up. All right, I wanted to listen to this for a minute. I don't know if it's gonna be obvious enough. I'm gonna turn this up in my headphones a little bit. No, not you though. Here. All right, so that's what I'll talk about here. I don't know how much this is gonna be obvious, but like, so, well, let me talk about like why I EQ the way I EQ a lot of times. So we listen to this, there's like a lot of fucking shit going on right here. And like if I turn off this whole like messy drum bus, we just have all this stuff. And so that's what like all of this sounds like. And then the drum piece provides like all of sort of the like more emphatic and like driving sort of energy to the story here of this project. And then it also provides a lot of the space. That's where I put in a lot of my reverb was in here. Now, part of the problem too is like, so as we start in like more and more complicated mixes, especially to add too many like all the stuff together, it overlaps and all gets mashed through like eventually the same master output. And so like there's only so much room coming out of that hose, so to speak. And so you're trying to make it so that like everything that goes through there eventually fits in a way that we still hear what it is we want to hear. And so like all of these sounds that we're pumping into a mix, when it gets all mixed and put through the master, is sort of competing for room, for space, so to speak. And so like if you have too much and you're like, oh, well, now it's clipping and distorting and I don't want it to be like that, or it's getting too muddy or whatever it is, then you can bring the gain down, right? But when you bring the gain of the entire master down, everything goes down. So all of the lower sounds that you might have wanted to hear, those go down too, and maybe you lose them, right? So you have all these little complicated issues in a mix and master that you start running into that you know you might need to like, you might want to solve. And so one of the ways that I do this is just by being more strategic in where I'm decreasing volume. And the way I do that, or decreasing gain, is by is through subtractive EQ. There's a bunch of other things I do too. And so that's sort of like the big why for why I do this. There's more like specifics to that, and that like okay, well, but then who cares if you cram, like, don't you just want to cram through as much as possible? It's funny actually too, like I remember seeing a tutorial video a long time ago for mastering that someone had made, and they were like saying, oh yeah, no, it's easy, you just get this, and they explain mastering all through like a particular plugin, but ultimately, like the entire gist of the video was just compress the shit out of everything and push it as hard as you can until you get it as loud as you want it. Was basically it. It was basically just drive it until you're happy, which is fine if you got a good mix, a clean mix already, right? But like it doesn't quite work like that. And so there are other problems that can come up if you just do that. If you're just like, I'll just blast this as loud as I can until I'm happy. There might not be a happy point to that for you. And so we can be more strategic in like where we do some of this subtracting. And the way that I decide kind of where I'm going to attack sort of some of my EQing strategy has to do with like what kinds of specific problems are causing all that weird noise stuff that I don't like if I just make it louder and do nothing else. And so like one of the things that happens is in our stereo field, if you have inverted signals, they will cancel. Well, there's a little bit more complicated than that, but like in the most simplified sense, like if you have one signal coming through and you have an identical signal coming through your left ear, but you just flip it over, then every time you have like positive current going through and negative current going through and you sum those two things, you get zero, so you hear no sound. So it can cause two different kinds of problems. If you're listening through like some kind of mono channel or mono setup, then those are going to get summed to zero, and so there's going to be no output for all of those points in the left-right field where they cancel. And so this typically isn't like the whole song or a whole sample. It's like parts of it. So you get this weird like wubbing, but not like what people are looking for in like a dubstep song, right? Or like a really weak tremolo sound, like it's more like it's sick rather than someone like intentionally put a tremolo effect on it, right? Like you just get weird shit, and it tends to be some out of like, you know, not necessarily rhythmic and all kinds of other problems that can come out of that. And so and then the other way you can get it is more from the stereo effect that happens when it comes out if you're hearing it in a stereo space. Headphones in some contexts can help like negate some of that, but like from a production standpoint, I can't just be like, no, everyone has to listen to my music with headphones on, and if you don't, then tough shit, my music's not for you. I mean, I guess I could, but I don't want to do that. That's not like why I got into music. So like anyway, you run into these like phase problems in the stereo field is one of the issues you can run into. So now one solution to that is if you decrease the gain on one side over the other side's going to have more to it, and it's not going to be able to cancel. You won't get the same amount of canceling, right? So you can sort of change parts of how you can decrease parts of the gain at points to change how those effects happen or mitigate them. And then another thing that like impacts me in music is like this low end stuff. You'll see me with low end shelving, or even where was damn it, I was at the top yeah. Just making sure I turn that back on. And so one of the other things that you'll see is I'll do a lot of that, or you'll see me with like high passing instead of shelving when I'm working with a lot of mixing in my own stuff. Actually, in other people's stuff too, just depending on just how I go about it's different, depending on what someone wants in their mix versus what I want in my mix. But the low end, a lot of times, like, you know, you can't hear anything. Let me go up to the master really quick. We start to lose, like, physically our ears and sometimes our hardware, the ability to either produce sound or hear sound, like interpret sound below a certain frequency. So like say down here, when you start getting down towards 20, you can't hear most of this. If I get like all the way down, there's still some of this in our audible range that's still coming through, but most of this we can't hear right now. I certainly can't. and then I can turn that off, and now we get it back, right? And so part of what's happening there when I do that is that that's not what I wanted. The only sound that's coming through these lower frequencies, the sound's still there, it's still coming, it's still doing things and like hitting our ears and causing vibrations and doing all this other stuff, but we don't process it in our brains as sound. And so in the signal itself, in the mix, this signal down here is still adding to all of the rest of this signal up here. And so when it does that, it creates what's called amplitude modulation. And amplitude modulation changes the sound or character of your output signal, or of your sound or your song or your music, whatever. And so sometimes we like the way it changes that character. It gives it a little bit rougher edge. It can make it sound more like a saturated sound. We might not want it too clean because stuff can sound artificial or too thin. But we might not want all of it because, again, that's like energy that's getting pumped into our master output now that we have to, like, you know, deal with the manage. So we can like do little things even by just like decreasing sort of the gain on this shelf, and we don't lose any of the sound as far as like what we're hearing and our brain's processing that information. But the signal, like how much signal we're pumping through here changes, so then the amount of amplitude modulation that happens across this is less, so we get a little bit more sort of true sound as far as what's in that frequency range that our brain can pick up. We're getting the truest like representation of that, or a truer representation of that. We may want that truer representation, we may not. That's like a taste thing at that point. And so what usually happens is I start finding like trouble spots where I want to start like removing things. So this is like a big place where I'll do some of that with my EQing, where I'm like, okay, I want some of these sounds to come through and some of them not. So like what I've done here, and actually I'm just going to take this off for a second. It's easier to hear when we listen to this, just the drums by itself. I think I'm going to start here. Let's start here because there's a lot of sides here to listen to also. But part of what we got is, so this is how I have it currently EQ'd in the way that I've done this mix. This is just the high bus for my overall drum bus. What I do is I split it into high and low sort of subgroups first, and then I group them in the main drum bus, and handle this as with processing as a bus. So this high one, I won't get into too many of the specifics. There are other things I do typically with this that are present in this one right now. But at the end of this chain, I've still EQ'd it again just to get kind of the character I want, because I've done a lot of things like saturate and gain and compression that'll raise up some of the other sounds that maybe I didn't want to raise up as much, and so I can lower them back down while leaving the other ones with a little bit of higher gain, a little bit more amplification. So we can, those sides and those toms right now especially are so loud. This evens out, brings down more of the reverb, the sides, the space to it, so it's just not so big, boomy, spacey. Like this to me right now sounds like I'm in a practice room where someone's just banging on toms, just kind of getting shit out. We're not recording, they're just like slamming on things for whatever reason, working out, just fucking around. Where this starts to sound more like, okay, what is this pattern meant to actually sound like? How do we hear the parts that are interesting and still get all of it, all of the idea in our minds, but not having like one particular part of the sound overwhelm another part by too much. I feel like I'm rambling too much now and it'll get boring, but so the ways that I've like done that here, I actually can show it bigger, is like I brought this down just because there was a lot of signal here that wasn't important. Like the toms were tuned up into this area down here with, I think, some lower end for the way the pitching was working on those envelopes for those toms, the synthesizers that I used. So I wanted those and those to come through. Let's see if I can actually isolate that a little bit more. So like, raise this up for a second. Wait, no. Yeah? Yeah, that's where I want it. So there's some like lower toms down here. Those are the main tom hits we're hearing. And then up here towards the middle, there's that other harmonic from the toms, that like that higher part, like sort of the skin feel of it. There's a whole bunch of air in here, and a whole bunch of those like wood hits and shit too. And we start bringing this up too. That gives more of that air without taking up so much of the space that down here does. So I tend to not like as much of the sounds in here, especially on the sides. You can see I use notches to cut out on the side channels around here and around here. And it's because those were frequency bands that my samples or my synthesizers were really meant to use much of. So I didn't need to have those bands in there. And then on the sides, we could just cut them entirely so that they wouldn't compete as much and potentially cause phasing issues. I find that most of the issues with sides that I run into, if there's too much reverb or stereo panning or something, happens somewhere around this 1,000 mark, usually from around 1050 up to around 1200, kind of just depending on sort of the frequencies of the samples you're using or the key signature that you've gone with in your composition. So anyway, that was me talking about some of my ideas with that. You'll see me, I'll try to, as I think about this, talk a little bit more general about my as I'm doing some of that EQing and some of these projects. This one's noisy, but it's all finished, so that thing jumped out of me. I was hoping I would grab something like in the middle of readiness so that I would find some more things that I wanted to fix, so I could see, like, be like, here's the problem that I hear, here's why I'm decreasing it, so you can kind of see what some of the difference was there with those, but that didn't happen. All right, let me get to some of the, oh wait, no, I think I'm gonna go back through this. I've been doing a lot of work lately and it's been really productive, so I'm gonna keep doing the type of work I've been doing and hope I still make some good progress there. Shit, I don't remember where we were on this. Okay, good. It's that one. Today's the... Okay. Let's look at... This one hasn't been hitting me either. There's some really cool shit in here, but hasn't hit that like little spark like, oh, this is hasn't been born yet. Like there's a point where it really becomes more of an idea. Sometimes that starts up here. Sometimes like this was just an experimental playing project. I did want to work now. Well, yeah, I don't know where I want to do that. A little bit of change. A little bit of change is always good progress. I wanted to push myself. I did hear one sample that I would have done a little bit of work on, but I wasn't super excited about that one right at the moment for working on just one sample. Make this envelope a little softer. Oh jeez, it's like all that is. Oh, that's not what I meant to grab. Am I just not on? What? I think it's just slamming it. Make that a little softer. Alright, anyway. Did some work on there. This motherfucker. This thing annoys the shit out of me. But I want to save it. Eventually I want to make myself fucking put it out as a web single. So What? That's not what I meant to do. There we go. I kept hitting the wrong fucking file. Hold up. Go. Oh, wrong button. I know words. Don't mind me. Right? I think this seems kind of weird. I don't remember if I like it or not. Weird though. Oh, a lot of shit going on. Right, I feel better about it so far. Oh, I was thinking maybe some guitar. B minor. B minor. You know what? Why don't I write that so that I know? Did something wrong there. What did I do wrong? That's a fun spot. Just hoping this will make like some of those chains a little bit nicer. Plus, I just mostly want to make sure I'm not getting too much difference between the peaks and the non-peaks on this when it comes out of this glitch effect. See, and I give you little bits like that, which I might cut out a little bit with the gate. Just creating a little bit more space between the floor and the ceiling, so it just sounds a little crisper, a little I don't know, a little more intentional, I guess. The glitch has a little delay effect in it, so that's where some of those littles are coming from also. Want to make sure I don't cut out too much, because I want a little bit of it, but too much of it starts to just be let in a lot of clicking sometimes with that effect, depending on how I have things set up on the inside. I'm gonna be able to compare these. Okay, so this is what it sounded like before. This is what it sounds like with that. Just a little cleaner. There's a little bit more space in between those drum samples as they come spitting out. Dynamic rack. Well, that's fun. I haven't been giving that one enough love lately, I think. This was one where I had a whole bunch of REA plugins, and I was like, I don't know what most of these do, because I got the REA plugins, these ones, for this. They're called Restream. It just lets me, it's basically just a mixer plugin that lets me port stuff from my output in Ableton to a channel that can be picked up by output in my broadcasting software so that you can hear Ableton while I play. But it's got all these other cool effects too that I just never used because that wasn't why I downloaded them. Okay, there we go. So I like put a whole bunch in here, like that's none of them. They're down here. So it's got Re-Gate, which is just a gate plugin. The UIs are whatever, they're simple Windows interface looking UIs, but like they're like involved. There's a lot of parameters to mess with on most of them, and some of them have shit that I don't have in other plugins or didn't have in other plugins at the time, so I thought that was kind of cool. Oh, and then they got this like standalone like thing too, where you can just pull, or maybe standalone was the, there's one where you can Oh, this one just has a couple different modes. There's another REA plugin that has like a ton of shit. Oh no, this is just Regate. Never mind, my bad. No, that was Regate that I was looking at. What am I looking at now? This is the stand Reefer. Reefer. The one was even called Reefer. There's a little delay on here. Yeah. Or do you? There's some delay on there. Anyway. But I was just messing with those. Oh my bad. Go back to here for a second. Okay, let me get this thing set up where I want it. Real quick, all that noise goes. What do I want to do? All it. Wait, no, that's in here. This motherfucker wasn't it? Yeah. All right, let's do this. I'm gonna take a little break and then come back to stream for a little bit more. I got an hour or so left in me. But you even from tape. This is Accidental Genius, or eventually, there you go. This is Accidental Genius from my album Hot Glitch. You can check out the music video for this right here on my YouTube channel too, if you're interested in that. I'm gonna be back in a few minutes after I take my break. I'm AC, Amateur Crastinator. You can find out more about my music at amateurcrastinator.com. Got a brand new music video that came out today too on my YouTube channel. If you want to hop over and check that out, it's called Whiskey Cellars, a little spooky soundscape for your spooky season. And I'll be back in a few minutes. I'm gonna leave the music running in the meantime for y'all to listen to. If you are hanging out in the chat, feel free to hang out in the chat and chat or do whatever or listen to music. I don't care as long as you're happy. That's what I want. Be happy. Take care of yourselves. Treat yourselves well. Anyway, I'm gonna go take a break. I'll be back soon. So enjoy the music and enjoy the break. surprise, I'm back. This is Balmsk from my album Fantastic Noise EP coming out soon. Working on it, folks. I'm working. Oh, it's throwing away. There we go, this one. I want that. All right, that was Balmsk. Do it again. From my album Fantastic Noise EP. Do it again. Do it again. It's called Rockstar. That's the probably the placeholder name for it anyway. You know what? I'm gonna try and play for a little bit, see if I get into some kind of groove just fucking around after this one. Well, unless I get really into this for some reason. Hold up. What do I have where right now? So that's all I got is the one rack. Checking how this is set up at the moment. Oh man, I haven't done any of my regular AC shit to this yet. Does that have the delay right on it? Yeah. Why did I do that on this side? There might have been a reason for it. I don't usually do that way. Maybe my thought was just that it's got more of the bass already taken out of it. Ooh, what was that from? This helps gate them into a little bit more discrete samples. Just cutting out some of the delay and stuff and decay in between. I was hoping there'd be more of a visual difference between these, but it's not really. Like, you can kind of see it, but it's not super noticeable. Some of the further down ones, it's a little bit more, you catch some more of it. But so right now what I'm just trying to do is sort of called it dynamic sampling the other day, but going through and trying to sort of use dynamics, and in this case actually an LFO also, to sort of pull out some samples, and then I'm going to do something with those. This is just so that I pull out kind of cleaner samples this way than I might otherwise, because I'm going to do a lot of noise shit to this. And this is more this and the gate were more so I could see it, although I think I might even no, I don't know if I want to double gate this, because as I make changes later, then I'll have to keep going back and fixing the gate. I'll just leave that for looks now, and probably delete it later. Right now it's more or less just a pass through. Super loud, not quite so loud. Just because it's sending the exact same signal through. So I'm gonna change this some. I don't need as much of the sound in this one as in the regular bus there. Actually, it's a little bit more. Ah! So the sort of subtractive EQing I'm doing here is I'm kind of looking at sort of the profiles here, across the EQ spectrum of each sort of sample as it comes through. So I'm like listening for the samples and seeing how that changes, where more of the gain shows up, and sort of looking at kind of like where each sample lives, so to speak. And then I'm just cutting out as much of the sound signal that doesn't change sort of the character that I would like out of the sample. And I can cut pretty aggressively in this because I'm just resampling these in a side chain. So I might be cutting a little harder than I might otherwise. I'm gonna do the sides a little differently so I can just not have to worry so much about canceling and extra mixing problems that come out from this thing, because this is gonna get chaotic, so the less fixing I have to do later, the better. This actually sounds a little like almost louder because I can hear more of it. The kick sounds super quiet there compared to that one, just because I cut out some of the competing sound. All right, let's get silly. Usually when I do these side chains, I like to throw in a delay with it also. Just so that, because I'm side chaining it, so it's just a signal copy right now. And I kind of wanted to just shift it all over so that it's not right in line with the same sounds all the time. So that way if I let it go through clean, they don't line up on the same note. Sometimes I want that because it creates sort of extra accenting on certain like beats and shit like that. And I don't know, maybe actually, you know what? Do I want accenting? Nah. I'm just gonna do it like this. So this is where they're all in line right now. So actually, let's do it without the glitch for a second. This is essentially just doubling the same pattern. Oh, I'm listening to everything right now, my bad. So just making like basically all of the eighth notes, each eighth transient when it first hits, just making them more staccato or accented or whatever. It's putting more emphasis just on those, each eighth note right on the beat, or beat and off beat on each eighth. And then when I put this, so now it's got a delay. So I've just doubled everything with a delay. So it's got a second copy of it, an eighth of a note later, which right now the way they're lined up, it's still a little bit of accentuation that goes on there. So then here, yeah, I like it better this way right now. Sometimes I like it the other way. It just kind of depends on what I'm going for. Down a bit. So I have it at 100%, so it doesn't give me a copy of the original signal because I already have the copy of the original signal here. And then, because I'm, playing it when I want to play it. And then I could drop it to 50% if I wanted both the original and the new signal, the new delayed signal that's coming through here. But so, you know what? I'm even gonna put, no, I'll leave it there for now. I don't even see this anymore. Just leave that for now. So they're coming from there in on every other. Malik, what's up, homie? Ah, fuck it, I can't get my finger. Go! There we go. I like the dirty squeaks too. I find if I can get this dialed in, the depth and the frequency just right, you can get like little robot talking out of there and all kinds of fun little shit sometimes that I like. Yeah, I don't always like a lot of camera on me, so I don't. Well, plus I just like the like ambient light in here. It doesn't show up as much on the camera, but I like the ambient light in here when I'm working at night, like off the monitors and stuff. So I throw in as like many like extra lights as I can with none of the like lights, and it's feels nice to me, but you can't see as much. But yeah, yeah, good bread. I like bread. Sometimes my kid and I will go and grab like one of them loaves of like either French or Italian bread down at the grocery store for like a couple bucks, and then just like dip it in ranch and make like a small meal out of it. It's not a real meal, but it tastes nice for sure. And I was thinking of some like weird little like flutters and shit maybe. Let's see, let's try it with this maybe, with retrigger. No, not with retrigger, although that's not bad either. I actually want stretcher. Hey, little purr. Let's use that delay. That a little bit more. All right, now gonna do. Yes. Yeah. No, it's in the here, I think. Yeah, it's in there. How about here? Oh, so I'm not, I was in the right solo. So it's just this channel right here. This actually was me opening a Rockstar. And then I put a bunch of reverb on it. Actually, what's the sound like without the reverb right now? Yeah, so This is just opening a can of Rockstar. And then what I did is I turned it into a big like faded delay thing. Oh no, this is just the white noise I put on it. And this causes it gates the, or I guess the sidechain compresses the noise chain, so when it hits you can hear it again, and it's like it releases back into the fucking noise chain. Although at the beginning is where it's most obvious because I have it a little bit more intentional and automated through there. What if I did that like right here? It does kind of like checking the chamber. Yeah, but like where it's got that like more I don't know, you know how like some of them have that really like deep clank based on how the mags are set up? I guess it's not the mag, it's like the chamber and the whole pin chamber mechanism. Like all of that together seems like can sound a little bit more like hollow, or like the pitches change, you know, for the timbre too a little. I guess it's probably more of like the like decay on the little bit of resonance and echo that hits. This changes slightly, I bet. All right, where's that? There's a gate in here somewhere. Is this what? That's not what I'm gating with, though. I thought I was gating this. I guess this is? No. I mean, sort of, but not in the way that I was thinking. All right, when do I want you to go back down then? Maybe like here. Like so. No, otra vez. Do it. There we go. All right, what do I think about this now? For this section. Oh, yeah. But that makes sense. It's always safety first, right? No, I'm just thinking like cleaning or checking. Like they, yeah, like because they're all, you know, even though manufacturers will design different firearms differently, like you'll have like a, at least from like kind of type to type, you'll have a little bit more consistency just because it tends to be sort of like themes as far as like how thick they make the chambers and shit like that. All those different things affect the sounds like going through it. It's funny too, I don't normally think about it this way, but like if you think about from like a sound design perspective, like thinking of a firearm is like a musical instrument, right? Like you have, there's like an input for gas and an output for gas and sound involved, right? And then like smaller barrels sound louder because they don't dissipate as much of the sound, and that's because the physical length of the dampening chamber from the sound perspective, right, is different. So a handgun would have a shorter dampening chamber, and a long gun would have a longer dampening chamber. And then like silencers, part of how they work is they go even farther, but then I don't know exactly how silencers are manufactured, but like they have additional engineering for, you know, dampening sound more and stuff. And so that, like, I mean, that's like sound envelope right there, or gain envelope, right? Like we're thinking of it like a synthesizer. And then I think about it in sound way too much. Or I think in sound way too much. Maybe not too much. Maybe that's not the way to say it, but a lot. Oh shit, and then I got sidetracked talking about that and wasn't listening to the thing I wanted to listen to. Ah. Did I kill drums? I did. Hold up. Otra vez. I was like, it wasn't that thin before. What'd I do? Found it. Oh, I missed the amazing. I mean, I got it now though. It's not that counts. But yeah, I'm glad you like it. I don't remember. I was really happy with how this turned out as far as like concept to result. Because like my initial thought, whenever it was that I did this, I was like, oh, I want to record me opening up a can. And I think I was thinking of it like beer at first, but I had a Rockstar can, so I just like recorded me opening it before I started drinking my Rockstar. And then I was like, what if it like kept going and it was part of this song? And oh man, you know what I should do? I should find a link to this or something and post it. But my best friend sent me a link to a video, and it was some woman and her partner or roommate or whomever like hanging out, and oh, you know, I think it was like her boyfriend, because I think he posted. Anyway, there was like text for context. And I think the text was like, can someone remix my girlfriend's fart into a Benny Bernassi remix or track or something like that. And or maybe she posted and was like, can someone remix mine? I don't remember. But then some guy took it and then took this sample of this like long ass fart and then turned it into Satisfaction. It was rad, but kind of reminded me of this, because it's like you go, and I'm like, well, what if it like kept going? And I guess if you're farting, you can just do that. I mean, supposing you have enough gas to make breath to make that happen. It's kind of like the same thing. Like you do the same thing out of your lungs. You're like, as long as I have enough gas to make more note, I can keep singing. So butts would be the same then. There's some sonic butt science for y'all. And oh yeah, sounds great. I'll see you shortly, maybe. But like but then it's a fart that was in that video, and so then it just keeps going, and then it turns into, they resampled the sample of the fart, turned it into a synthesizer, and then used that to make the remix of the song or cover or whatever. It was rad. I'll have to look that up. Hopefully I don't forget. I'm really bad at following through with social shit like that when it's little things. But if I remember, it'll be there. It's just the ADHD eats it up so much, so often. All right, anyway, that was some fun messing around with that. I always like talking about sound. People get me going. Oh, this is fun. Oh, damn it. I left my monitor volume on. Hopefully it wasn't making any weird. It shouldn't. It's a 20-second delay, so it shouldn't be too weird of feedback. If it was even noticeable. What am I doing? Okay, I turned it off already. So one of these, I thought this was a different one. I thought this one was like armed. I'm gonna arm it. Check. Yeah. So that was what I did, is created this big just like chain with a bunch of different time effects and shit, and was like, oh, if I input it, what'll happen? And then eventually I just recorded a couple things and spaced them out, and so I can use those so I don't have to think of something new every time. And then there's more. It sounds like something out of like a sort of like psychedelic, sort of supernatural thriller maybe or something. Like I could see this in sort of like a, oh, what's that guy's name? We got a style of like sci-fi horror. Like they talk about a whole genre using his name. What is that fucking fool's name? Call it like a something film. You know what? I'm gonna try and look it up real quick. So it's when one quick second. I'm still here. I'm just moving some shit around. I want to make sure things are in the right places. There we go. Okay. Nick Cage was in a movie that was this style of movie. It's funny how my brain works when I'm trying to pull information out sometimes. But I'm like, okay, so I gotta look up IMDb, and then I gotta look up Nicolas Cage, and then I gotta look up this movie, hoping the name rings a bell or the poster. The poster should. Is it Color something? Yeah, Color Out of Space. What are these things fucking called? Actually, this might even be that guy. Yeah, it is. It's called Lovecraftian horror, because Lovecraft writes shit like this. He wrote Color Out of Space. But like this sounds like something that would be like out of sort of a Lovecraftian type of horror. And like, actually, you know what it kind of reminds me of is some of the weird, like, what's that fool's name? Is it Mr. something? The fucking bad guy from I Saw the TV Glow. The antagonist. Can't remember that fool's name right now. But it sounds like if you were trying to navigate whatever that world is, and he was like trying to distract you and keep you trapped in your coffin or something, like it would sound like this. Some weird ass fucking sounds in there, tell you what. I got some more time to play for a little bit. I gotta start worrying about moving. I do gotta leave or wrap up stream by around 3 p.m. my time, so that's in about a little more than 10 minutes. Play in chat in the meantime. I think I want more intro. This reminds me, because it's like not mixed yet, and just all this noise blasting through all channels at once. It's like, it just reminds me of being at like band practice. And we're just like, we know it's all there, we can hear all the parts there, but it doesn't sound good. We're just all like amps on full in the room. It's so funny too, like the last band I was in, for the microphone, I was a singer, and for a microphone setup, we had my guitar practice amp, like a little one speaker 12-inch or 10-inch or whatever, that's 10-inch probably. And then I think it's a 10-inch. It's just a little fucking practice amp. Or like the PA amp speakers, which were like massive. So it was like I could lug all the, and we practiced in one place and had the speakers in another. Although I think I started using the PA speakers when we moved to our second studio place, because of this, the way some shit had worked out with the old one. Or maybe our guitarist moved. I don't know. We moved at some point, practice locations for some reason. Oh yeah, that's right. My guitarist moved. That was the reason. I remember where he moved now. I was like trying to remember what all the specifics were back then. But yeah, it was because he moved. And but before I was like, I lug all my big ass PA speakers over, and then take them down and bring them back every single practice, or like leave them over there, but then that's like a whole hassle, especially if you need them for anything, right? Like, I don't know if you've ever left band gear at a bandmate's house, but it's a fraught experience a lot of times, regardless of how cool or responsible they are. It's just, it's another person in the mix. Shit happens. And so, like most of the time and then I just felt weird when we were at practice, because it'd be like, practice amp, bass amp, and then a PA. And so it was like, the bass amp was pretty like huge already, but it was kept low. But like the PA, like, I don't know, it just felt like overkill, even though it was still fine. You just turn it down. I don't know, because I'm overthinking about it. But it's just a funny setup. Like you make do with what you got. You got like too much or too little, not quite right, but you make it work. Oh shit. I was gonna low pass this on the way in. You don't have to do these S curves the way I do. That just gives me a little bit more control over it, but also means it's a tiny bit more work for me, but just kind of how my workflow usually ends up working. Sometimes you'll see me on, did I already do it on this one? I did on recently. I already forget which project I did it and why, but you'll see me just use the built-in S curve that they have for automation lanes too. Oh, hey, yeah, no, love you too, Nightleak. I'm glad you showed up. Thanks, I appreciate you a lot, homie. I really do. But yeah, no, thanks for stopping by. I love it. Every little bit is always good. So no problem, and I'll catch you soon. I hope you have a good day, buddy. It's funny. I hope you, well, hope you didn't feel like I left you hanging if you didn't catch it. See it eventually. Or at least know in spirit. I'll send you vibes, yeah. I was just thinking right before I read that. I like doing this kind of work, but it's kind of painstaking in a way. But like I really want to get, you know, that flow in, right? The swell matters. It reminds me of a fucking like old like band teachers and band conductors, like from like band like orchestra and shit. Or like they would talk about this shit sometimes when I was like a kid learning music and playing instruments like initially, and I was just like, it sounds so geeky. It still does kind of sometimes, just because it's like already like logged into a cliche part of my brain. It's like, no, you have to crescendo at just the right speed. And we have to all do this together when the judges see these at our performance. But like for real, like it's like what it's supposed to sound like. It's the story it tells. It's got to tell the story, you know? I don't know. This thing's got something on me, like that just it gets me a certain way. Work on this thing more, I think. I don't think I like this one. I'm gonna open it anyway. We're gonna find out. Gonna find out. All right. Oh, you know what I didn't do? Did I? I don't think I did. I'm gonna go open that other one again real quick. Whenever I have one that I like, that I'm like, okay, I want to keep this around, and I might even move it soon. I want to make sure all the files in the right place. It's good file management habits. Otherwise, shit gets. It's just like, see, that's the thing. I wonder if it's the same for other people, but like this is how it's felt for me in like any sort of field or new like hobby or, you know, thing I'm excited about, special interest, that if I get sort of turned off from it, one of the things that can do that is just running into too many technical hurdles can really discourage me working in whatever like that spaces, right? Whether just legit, you know, just naturally, or even as like sort of feeling like, I don't want to do that because there's gonna be all this shit in the way. Like, so like a super basic example is actually, you know what? This could be like a little background sample for like a little kind of poppy rock, like a pop alt pop track. Throw some guitars on there with some crunching guitars with a high pass, a little bit airy. Do a real drum track underneath. There's some potential in here. But I don't feel like messing with that right now. Most of the times when I've been opening that one, then it just hasn't been hitting me right. I don't think I like this other one I'm gonna open either, but keep that one just opened. This one, two. I'm gonna put you here for now. Oh, at least you're somewhere. Or not. Okay, hold on, let me do this then. Close this real quick. I can restart it. We're gonna go. Oh, you know what? This is probably good timing. This is my alarm reminding me that I need to end stream anyway. So let's play a little bit of music to play me out here. This is the Bloodmire from my album. What album is the Bloodmire from? I think it's from Vaudevillain. Could be from Surrender. It's around that time period. This came out back to back, I believe. Well, I mean, it's not back to back, but one after another. Like that was the order. I believe vaudeville, then surrender. But I'm AC, Amateur Crastinator. You can find out more about my music at amateurcrastinator.com. I've been doing some loud cafes during the day, during the week, so I tend to be streaming right now Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays if you like the live stream action during the day. It's middle of the day Pacific time, usually starting around between 10 and noon, just kind of depending on how things go with my other work stuff in the studio. And then I try to set aside a little bit of time to just chat with folks or talk about whatever I'm thinking about and doing at the moment. And then in the evenings is my normal stream where I just smoke a lot of weed and mess around and sometimes get all kind of jammy and sometimes just get real tech focused. It kind of depends on where my head's at, but that's what I do in the evenings. It's just some extra work, but it's like my free vibe time, free creative time, sandbox time, if you will. I had a new video for my October web single. It's called Whiskey Cellars. It's a spooky soundscape for the spooky season this October. So check that out. Let your imagination run wild with the horror. And that's here on my YouTube channel. Again, Whiskey Cellars. Go check that out when you have the chance. And I always appreciate when you hit that subscribe button, as well as liking and commenting on any videos that you feel compelled to do so on. Always appreciate all the support of all kinds as you show up in the chat, as you alert, and so on and so forth. Honestly, I can't say enough how much I appreciate you all. But I will be back soon. So I hope to see you all this evening. Have a wonderful day. Go make loud noise, my monstrous friends.